Let's bring in Bob Costas right now, who has the call tonight. Again, the Braves and the Dodgers tonight here on MLB Network. All right, so, Bob, we're just talking Freddie Freeman, Kenley Jansen switching clubs. What did you make of that? Because that was that Freeman-Matt Olson thing happened in a day, and it was pretty stunning.
You know, you have to say this. The deal that the Braves made with Olson takes him 8 years into his mid-30s. 6 years with the Dodgers takes Freeman into his late 30s. And the money for the 8 for Olson is not much greater than the 6 for Freeman. So if you look at it in a cold, calculating way, it looks like Alex Anthopoulos has again made a shrewd move. But Joel's point matters when you talk about fan reaction. Olson is off to a tremendous start. Freeman has really been embraced by Dodger fans. Hit the first pitch he saw at Dodger Stadium for a single up the middle, then had a long double later in that game, standing ovation and a sustained ovation. Everybody chanting, Freddie, Freddie. And then yesterday, as they took their winning streak to 6 and swept the Reds in 4, he went 4 for 4 in the game, or at least had 4 hits, might have been 4 for 5. So everything is working out well. Jansen will be greeted warmly if he gets into a game, and he likely will in this 3-game set. But the real test will come, the real reaction will come in mid-June when the Dodgers go to Atlanta to play 3. And I believe that everybody thinks that Freddie will be greeted warmly when he steps to the plate wearing a Dodger uniform in Atlanta.
Yeah, Bob, I just want to throw that at you. It is right in the cold, calculating sense, right? There's no question that Anthopoulos operated with fiscal responsibility. And yet, he didn't keep Freddie Freeman. And that's something I know you've talked about a long time. Look, the guy's behind you. You know, it's like you want to be identified with one team, Mantle, Mays. What are your thoughts on that? On Freeman is no longer a Brave?
Yeah, it's a shame. He was an iconic player. He was the signature player of this generation of Atlanta Braves and a guy very likely bound for the Hall of Fame. But those players now are few and far between. The Derek Jeters are few and far between. Fans treasure them when it happens, but I think that even the most avid fans have come to understand that it just ain't the way it used to be. And there's a business aspect to this, not just a business aspect for Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves, but also for Freddie Freeman.
Bob, speaking of which, Clayton Kershaw, 7 perfect innings. Out he goes after 80 pitches. What did you think of that?
Well, I believe that Clayton is sincere when he says that he agrees with the decision. He had thrown 80 pitches. It was a cold, cold day in Minnesota. He said his slider had lost its bite in the last inning or so. He pitched 12 innings in the spring. He wasn't able to begin his offseason work till January because he was still rehabbing an injury. So all things considered, he was okay with it. And we know that we see this kind of thing. Bob Melvin pulled Yu Darvish after 6, not with a perfect game, but with a no-hitter. Sean Manaea the next game pulled him after 7. And meanwhile, way across the Pacific, Roki Sasaka, the 20-year-old Japanese phenom, pitches a perfect game in his first start of the year and strikes out 19. He's got a perfect game through 8 and has struck out 14 in his next start. And after 102 pitches, he gets pulled. So he could have thrown back-to-back perfect games. But naturally, when he was out of the game, the world's greatest professional baseball franchise, the Nippon Ham Fighters, scored in the 10th and won 1-0.
There you see, I didn't even know that part of it there. That's the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Bob, we're out of time.
I'm here to help.
Yeah, Bob, thank you. Tonight, my third question, by the way, that's now been killed, I've got to move on, was on the demise of National League Baseball, real baseball with 2 DHs in each league. Can you opine on that tonight for several minutes? Like take a half inning and do that?
We'll get into it.
Excellent.
For sure.
Hey there. Bob, thank you so much. Bob Costas will have the call tonight.
See you, big guy.